actually, before we get started with the video, a bit of context. You see, this video was actually supposed to come out back in February, basically the same day that the album Excelsis was supposed to be released. This video, however, didn't end up getting that treatment because of the fact that there was a few video editing decisions that I was making that ended up delaying the video, basically adding more time than necessary. So I ended up having to kill the project before it even got released. It just took way too much time. But seeing as nowadays everybody has a lot more free time than before, it only seemed right to try and pick the project back up again to get it out for this week. A month late, but hey, better late than never, I guess. So with that in mind, enjoy the video. Oh, one more thing. Stick around to the very end of the video to hear about something pretty cool that you might actually be interested in. Stay tuned.
This is Metal Robot Reviews.
Welcome to the Metal Robot Reviews channel. I'm your host, Tom McKay, and this week we're taking a look at the debut album from a band called Isle of the Cross, described as progressive death metal band from allegedly planet Earth, but I did some searching and no such information exists to prove that. So anyway, they recently signed a deal with Rockshot Records to release their debut full-length Excelsis, an album based on a concept, quote, on a tale of two lovers amidst betrayal, murder, and their search to reunite in the afterlife. Now that could be very interesting to hear because A, some of you probably know me enough by now to know I love progressive metal, but also B, a story like this, in terms of concept, could easily create something fantastic in terms of music. The music should be able to write itself in this case. So, does it do that on this album? Does the story create the music? And does the music come out as something beautiful? Well, let's not waste much more time. Let's get straight into it. Alright. Whoa, okay, no, I need to drive. No more spit in the car. I need to drive. Woo, this is the good shit. I'm lost. Why does the vocalist sound like he's high-passed to shit? Wait a second, I just realized. There are actual vocal parts in this section. Like, I don't mean like the choral voice either, I mean like there are literal vocal lines being screamed here and they're pushed to the back? What the fuck? I'm just confused, forgive me, but I feel like this is something that you'd want more in the front, not in the corner where the bass player goes. Oh boy. Yeah, hey mom, the band figured out what EQ was, and now they won't stop using it. Please send help. What is this, Isle Finger Death Punch? Bit of an exotic vibe. I dig it. How do you know it's a progressive album? The synth. Okay, I see we went from heavy metal to flamenco! Am I the only one who thinks that the percussive woodwind player sounds like the player's having a bit of an asthma attack in the middle of playing? Yeah, you see, it's times like these that I wish they would have gone to like Devin Townsend or Adam Getgood. I feel like they would have been able to make a dense mix like this work so well. Isle of the Cross will now have their sound performed by John Williams' Duel of the Fates. Yo, this is straight up Nightwish territory now.
I know you're alright.
No, I'm feeling pretty good right now, actually. What does Dracula have to do with this? I kid, but this part's actually kind of cool. What the fuck? Oh, dude, I was actually getting kind of into the Baroque part. What the fuck? Why did you change it so fast? This is sort of like if Dream Theater one day decided to go spooky. Speaking of spooky, Huh? When did Mudvayne enter the chat? The fuck even is this album? I am so confused! You see, it's this point in the album where it feels the most coherent. On second thought, I'll take that back. It's a weird song with a lot of transitions, but thus far, my personal favorite off the album, I gotta say. Okay, so it starts off soft, like a ballad. Now I'm just wondering how long we're gonna stick with it, and how jarring the transition is gonna be in this one. Okay, they're actually letting it play out a bit longer than I thought. Okay, yeah, they're actually letting it sit for a bit. I may have jumped the gun on that one. So, you know what? I apologize for being a dick. This is pretty good. Whoa! Well, so much for driving. I mean, I'm just glad, everyone's okay and no one's hurt, badly injured, dismembered, all that good stuff. So, let's just keep listening. And we have entered the Matrix. Oh, hell yeah, it's about time. I mean, you've been using symphonic parts like President Trump uses Cheeto face masks, and yet it took you till now to give your female vocalist actual singing lines? About fucking time. I just want to reiterate, she is a great vocalist, by the way. I'm not sure if I made that clear in my rant, but she, very good. Sounds like Dracula's back. Sounds like I'm back at the beach. No, you did this last year. You teleported me to the beach in the middle of winter, and it was freezing cold. It's still freezing cold. Do not do that again. Well, we now know it, gents. Thank you, dated meme culture. I swear, you guys in, nuclear winter need to start your own old-time sci-fi radio club or something. Well, that's great, but I wasn't really waiting for you, so. Ah, yes. That's what I've always wanted. A jazzy double kick pattern. Nice. And once again, the buzzy synth has to be hitting dog whistle registers. Okay, full disclosure, so these songs, when they came to me in the promo, I don't think were labeled properly. Part 1 was the second one to appear for the part 3, for the 3-part story. So for this video, I'll be playing it part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm not sure if that's actually how it was supposed to be, but if it wasn't supposed to be like that, then someone in the situation needs to relearn how numbers work. I just don't know if it's me yet. And we welcome you to Mordor. Please don't mind the bones or the orcs humping rocks. Come on, show some dignity. We have guests here. Oh, okay, no, I was wrong. This is the point where we enter Mordor. Okay, I was slightly joking at first, but was your main inspiration for the orchestra literally Howard Shore or something? Because, I dig it.
Midway along the journey of my life.
Narration. What? I'm so confused. I thought this was supposed to be some kind of love story. Yes! Search your feelings for the epichlorians. You know they exist. Make this more symphonic.
My lady of virtue and grace.
Well, that transition was about as smooth as a jagged rock. Makes sense, because apparently this protagonist is about as smooth as a jagged rock. Yo, what? That would have been a great place to end the album. That held out God chord, that would have been fantastic. Why didn't you stop? Okay, not a terrible way to end, I guess. I mean, there's no held out God chord or anything like that, but it's okay. Now what? I'm recording this outro a couple days after the events, and I still don't know what the hell I was supposed to take from this album. You see, overall, Isle of the Cross wanted to make an album that could leave an impression, and I feel like they definitely did. The mix in each song is dense and has this gigantic, monstrous sound to each section. The guitars and bass are well mixed, and the orchestral elements added in add to the weight of each part. The three vocalists also did a pretty solid job as well. I especially took a liking to Diane Lee, just because it's a great voice. Now, nothing against Yi Schneider or Eric Castiglia, but I feel like her voice was the best mixed and the clearest out of the three. And that, however, actually goes into some of the problems that I had with Excelsis. For one thing, the mix was very dense, and it didn't really have a clear vision on where it wanted to go. Everything kind of feels blended together in most of the songs, especially the ones with loud guitars and drums, but also horns, strings, and choirs. There is just so much going on with this album, and the ears involved is having a hard time of getting all these different parts to come together and work together to create an amazing sound. He can't get them to coexist, and as a result, the concept and story that's being told to me is extremely hard to digest. A lot of it, I didn't even know what was happening, like what part we were at, and a lot of it did not come through clearly. Now, don't get me wrong, I totally get it that it's not an easy task to get 2,000 stems to coexist together, but I feel like a mix this dense could have been passed off to someone like maybe Devin Townsend or Adam Getgood. Now, granted, I don't know if Townsend actually accepts clients, and I know Adam is very expensive, believe me, I tried, but I feel like the returns would have definitely been worth it. Another big thing I had a problem with was the lack of clear vision. The best way I can describe Excelsis is like if a baker was given a variety of different ingredients to create one delicious cake. Some of these ingredients already mesh together naturally, others may take a bit of work but can still be done. However, the baker does not have a clear plan to get from point A to point B. And what he ends up creating is what looks like 5 cakes stitched together into one. This is supposed to be a progressive album, but a lot of the progressions on here felt unnatural, they felt forced, and they felt jarring in a lot of different places. I'm looking at you specifically, death metal to flamenco metal. Now, I want to be clear here, I am not saying Excelsis is a bad album, not by a long shot. Isle of the Cross created an album that I am definitely going to remember for a long time, for good reasons, because of the musical choices involved. What I am saying here is that if certain paths were taken during the creative process of this, or the mixing process, I feel like this album could have been so much better than it came out. They definitely have a long way to go to perfection, but they at least have the potential to get there. And I feel like for their next record, if they gave themselves more time and more preparation, and maybe even pass it off to someone who can better work with a large mix, then I feel like their sophomore album will be something that'll blow all of us away. 12 out of 15, because upon reflection, I do not look that good in a dress. What was I thinking? Why do I have Photoshop? Yeah, better late than never, I guess, on that video. I should really be better at making decisions. But nevertheless, thanks for sticking around to the end, because now I get to tell you about a new project that I started with Metal Robot Reviews, and that is the Metal Robot Podcast. It's a podcast about all things metal and everything in between. It's basically like a standard podcast with a bunch of different segments, and all I'll be doing during that time is maybe bringing on a few guests, and we just talk about all things metal. The first episode is currently live for you to check out. In that one, we actually talk about what bands can do, along with listeners, what they can do to help each other out in the middle of this pandemic that we're all in. The podcast is up on Spotify. It's, at the time of recording this, still trying to find its way to Apple Podcasts, but it is on Spotify, and if you don't have Spotify, it is also on SoundCloud. If you want to grab the links to any of those, links down in the description. But with that said, Isle of the Cross, Excelsis. What did you think of the album? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments down below, and suggest what albums you want me to review next time. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. Click subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the mosh pit next time. Have a good night.